Alright, good morning. So this is the second video I've decided to make this morning. This is actually a redo of a video that I already did because my original one was just way too long. So I decided I would break things up into smaller videos, like maybe 3 or 5 minute videos, because I know most people don't want to sit and watch something that's over 10 minutes long. So what I want to talk to you about today is that I want to give some pointers and tips for incoming Ivy League students. You know, if you're a student who's attending any of the 8 Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Penn, Cornell, Columbia, Brown, and Dartmouth, one thing that you should know is that one of the things that you've probably heard about the Ivy League schools is that they're filled with overachievers. Now, I will be honest about one thing. You know, not every student that walks through there is a genius, and not every student that walks through there is, you know, a 4.0 perfect SAT score, you know, type student. But for the most part, after completing my first year at Harvard grad school, for to get my master's in psychology, I can definitely tell you that the majority of students that come through these schools are overachievers. And so what I want to talk to you about this morning is how to kind of navigate through that, and how to deal with it in like a mature manner, and how to really remember your self-worth, and how to, you know, not let that type of thing get to you. And so one of the most common things I hear from incoming Harvard students, especially the ones that are entering the undergrad, is that they come to Harvard, and you know, so you have these students who are at the top of their class, or either valedictorian, or, you know, so on and so forth, and then they get to a school like Harvard, and pretty much every single student in their classes are just as sharp as them, have just as many achievements as them, you know, so on and so forth. And this is something that's definitely true, even like I've even realized as a grad student, is that like no matter how great you think you are, no matter how much you think you've achieved, there's like the student next to you has either done just as much, or if not more. And so one of the things I wanted to really point out to incoming students, and you know, anyone who's going into the Ivy Leagues, is that don't let this type of thing get to you, because I think that as hard of a pill as this is to swallow, as harsh as this sounds, I think that dealing with this type of thing prepares you for life. Because, you know, when you're in high school or when you're in middle school, you know, and let's say that your school has like a few thousand, or even the smaller private schools, like let's say it has a few hundred, it's really easy to think that, you know, if you have the best grades, if you made the top SAT scores of your valedictorian, it's really easy to think that you're on top of the world, that you own it, that you're better than everyone else. And the thing is that you have to realize that the real world is really huge. Like, it's much bigger than most people would even fathom. And so, you know, the truth is that even with your perfect grades, even with your perfect SAT scores, even with all of the achievements that you've made, the world has dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of overachievers just like you. You know, I mean, on average, every single year, and I'm talking about the college when I say this. I'm not, I know it's competitive at the other grad schools too, but on average, schools like Harvard have like 30,000 applicants, and every single one of these applicants have 4.0 GPAs and perfect SAT scores. Like, all of your achievements combined it doesn't even give you a ticket into one of these schools. It just it gives you like a ticket to compete. And that's the same when it comes to the grad schools. Like, the grad schools, like, I remember when I took my first class at Harvard University, I really looked at like some of the other students, and I just thought that they were ordinary people. But then I started to realize that like most of these guys had like PhDs, and sometimes more than one master's degree, and they've already had like 5 or 10 years of like professional experience under their belt. Like, they were all really, really sharp. Like, they were a lot sharper than I thought that they were. You know, I mean, this past semester, I even had a classmate who already had an undergraduate degree from Columbia University, which is one of the 8 Ivy League schools. And so what you have to realize is that the Ivy Leagues are no joke. You know, when people say that, like, most people that come through here are overachievers, like, they're not kidding. Like, it's actually true. Now every now and then you will have that one guy or girl who got in through legacy admissions and might just be a total moron, but that's not even a huge percentage of the students. That's like a very tiny percentage. And so this is just one of the things that I felt like I really needed to talk to incoming Ivy League students about and sort of warn them, is that when you enter these schools, every achievement that you've made in life just makes you just as good as the person next to you. It doesn't make you any better. It doesn't put you at the top. Literally, the minute you walk through the gates of an Ivy League school, you become just like the person next to you. And so I just think that it's important for, you know, the incoming class of 2025 or incoming grad students at these Ivy League schools to really swallow that pill before you walk in, because I don't want you to spend the first year or two with like low self-esteem or with your head down because you feel like you're not measuring up, because that's going to be a natural insecurity. But you have to realize that these are the Ivy League schools. These are the top of the top, and it should be no surprise to you that schools like this that pull students from all over the country are going to be full of nothing but overachievers. But at the end of the day, it prepares you for the real world. So this is just a video I thought I would make for incoming Ivy League students, and good luck with your future endeavors.